Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
A few years ago, I watched a business owner treat networking like a vending machine. He'd show up, put in his time, press a few buttons, shake some hands, pass some cards, and he'd wait for something to drop out. A lead, a deal, something, anything. But nothing ever came. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but very infrequently did things come. Meanwhile, across the room, there's another person I know, same industry, similar business size, but he was playing a completely different game. Instead of asking who can give me business, he was quietly asking who already has the relationships my clients trust and how can I help them win? He wasn't collecting contacts, he was building bridges. And over time, something interesting happened. The first guy kept working harder and harder and harder. The second guy kept warmer introductions. Not because he had a bigger marketing budget, not because he had a better pitch, but because he was trying to build a marketing machine or a relationship machine. He was thinking like a partner. And that shift from transaction to partnership is exactly where today's conversation lives. Today's guest is Derek Morgan. He's been on here before. He's a specialist in referral marketing and B2B lead generation, who helps business owners turn relationships into consistent high-quality opportunities. With a background in fractional business development, Derek has worked across industries helping entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants move away from expensive, unpredictable marketing and towards scalable referral partnerships. He's developed practical frameworks, including his referral marketing formula, that simplify how to generate warm leads without relying on ads or cold outreach. At his core, Derek brings a clear, no-nonsense approach to one powerful idea. Your next client is already connected to someone you know. You just need a better way to activate it. Derek, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Frank. Pleasure to be here. I'm glad you've got me back again. Obviously did something right the first time.
You did. And for our guest, Derek's in Australia, which you're like, oh, big deal. You can do anything with Zoom. You can talk to anybody in the world. But for Derek and I to get on a Zoom, and we do it infrequently, or we do it here and there, there's like 3 hours in a day that really work for us, where it's not too early for him, not too late for me, or vice versa. So anyhow, question, you challenge a belief a lot of people have that referral partnerships are something you build after you grow. Why do you believe the mindset has to come first before the structure? The mindset of building these partnerships and there's a book over here in the States, dig your well before you're thirsty, right? I mean,
yeah, I think if we give a little bit of sort of context to the mindset first, I think there's a really big missed opportunity in most SMB businesses. So for context, I'm going to be typically talking about B2B businesses in the main. But the principles, strategies, and tactics apply to B2C. There's just some of the tactical changes need to happen. But when we're all out there doing things with business networking, we're going to industry events, we're going to expos, we're going to in-person events like AmSpirit, or we're going to networking events online. So we're doing all of this activity from a sales perspective, and our team, account managers or customer support people managing client relationships and servicing the clients, they're already having conversations with the clients. Within these conversations, there's lots of opportunities to be doing networking, adding value to partners, adding value to clients. The challenge is that we don't typically train people on how to identify triggers in those conversations to lead a conversation in a direction that results in referrals or networking or connecting partners up or solving other problems for our clients. And that's really just a mindset shift of just knowing what to look for, knowing what to listen for in conversations, and just having some simple talk tracks and frameworks that allow you to go, there's another way that I can add value to this client by introducing them to somebody in my partner network or reintroducing them internally back into the sales team or somebody else in customer support that can assist them. So internal and external referrals, I think, are a really big missed opportunity in most businesses, and a lot of that can shift just with a change of focus, mindset, and a little bit of training around talk tracks and frameworks.
This mindset shift, it sounds like it really needs to start from the top down.
100%.
Okay.
So, I mean, you've got a wealth of experience in the networking space, and you will have seen it where you've got salespeople that come into a networking event or into a networking room, and they've just got find my next prospect is the only thing that's front of mind, and they're just like, I need to get a lead out of this. I'm here to get leads. I'm here to get leads. And so when we talk about mindset shift, if you walk into as you know, if you walk into a networking event or community or room with the intent of serving first, and who can I add value to? Who's an ideal referral partner for me? Who's an ideal referral partner for the person that I'm speaking to? How can I connect them up? It changes the dynamics of the conversation. It changes the speed of engagement, and it fast tracks results. And I know that you know all this, but a lot of businesses still don't think in this value first mindset. And when they're going out into networking events, we advocate that you should be taking the approach of understanding exactly who your ideal customer is, who your ideal referral partner is, and more importantly, the value that you add to your referral partners. And when you can lead with value, it makes it a lot easier to get referrals into referral partners. So that's where we talk about mindset shift. What are you looking for? How are you looking for it? How are you having conversations? How are you starting conversations? An example would be 2 weeks ago, I got referred to a government body that runs a community of IT professionals in their state. And that was via referral, a 30-minute alignment call, which was just talking about what are their challenges, what are they looking for, what do they need, what are their problems, finding where the alignment was. That 30-minute conversation led to a 60-minute conversation with their leadership team. And off the back of that 60-minute conversation, we're now into a pilot program with how do they actually build referral partnership strategies, thinking and mindset into their community. So that then becomes, a one-to-many lead opportunity for our business,
right?
Through just changing that mindset and language and thinking about value first for their network through them. Well, I don't know if that's a great analogy, but that's the type of leverage that you're looking for when you start to focus on partners and the value you can deliver to partners, as opposed to just looking for leads.
Yeah, I think your job working with SMBs, small business, small medium-sized businesses, is more challenging than what my life is like with AmSpirit. With AmSpirit, I'm generally trying to convince an individual of a certain course, an insurance agent, a realtor, they answer to people, they've got a bottom line and things like that. But with you sometimes you have to get buy-in right from the very, very top, because if somebody's going from this mindset of, okay, I'm just going to let's just get out there and let's just cold call. Everybody come in and let's cold call. And that's all we're going to do. And let's just put the hours in and let's cold call. What you're basically advocating, which I totally agree with, is let's step back from this. Let's step back from this process that, let's be honest, it's not scalable, because to double your results from cold calling, you need to make twice as many calls. Whereas what you're advocating is this partnership thing where is totally scalable. Once you kind of build those relationships, you're getting business from your partners, well, when you're on vacation, whenever. But there's a little bit of a dip in there. There's kind of that little chasm where you've got to go from the old way to the new way. And I can see, depending upon certain companies, where you have people saying, well, wait a minute here. We need to meet our numbers. We need to meet our numbers, shareholders, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's a good observation, but I guess within SMB, SME, you're typically looking at founder-led sales, or you're looking at small sales teams. The market, to your point, has
Yeah.
trained everybody, large and small, and this adversely impacts small to medium-sized business. It's like, yeah, you've got to do mass marketing. You've got to do marketing at scale. You've got to do cold outreach. You've got to get those numbers in top of funnel, and you've got to spend money on ads. Well, I'm not saying don't do that, but what we're finding is this avalanche of AI content is making algorithm roulette in the social platforms even harder.
Yeah.
And there's so much more. So there's dilution of eyeballs for content because there's just so
Right.
much of it. And then every digital agency that I'm talking to is complaining about ad spend going up and conversion on ad spend going down. So as a small to medium-sized business, you've always got to do your outreach. You should only be doing ads if you know that you've got a sales process that can absolutely show direct line of revenue from ad spend to bottom line conversion. But while you're doing that, for all the leads that you're getting in, do you have a strategy and a framework for leveraging those leads by getting referrals from those leads, because you've got a consistent process that you follow by having conversations with those new prospects that are converting? But more importantly, do you have a conversational framework that you can, when you're meeting with your clients and you're doing annual reviews, quarterly reviews, whatever your follow-ups cadence, customer service cadence is, whoever is in your team working with those clients in those points, do you have a structured conversation at those existing touch points, which leads to referrals? And most businesses, the answer to that is no. And then a lot of small to medium-sized businesses, they're focused on all these scale plays, but when you really sit down and look at the numbers of new clients that they could actually deliver on if they converted, their numbers are relatively low. So if you get the right partner relationships, you can hit those numbers really easy with very little cost of acquisition compared to cold outreach or compared to ad spend. And then, as you know, referral sales cycles are so much shorter, conversion rates are so much higher. So it's like, how do you just make sure that you've got the systems, processes, and frameworks in your natural touch points with your clients, where you're triggering those conversations that ultimately easily and smoothly lead to referrals? That's the missing bit in most sales and customer service processes. They don't get systemized into those conversations, and they don't get measured.
Right. I guess what I heard you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that cold outreach, and we'll call it marketing tactics, whatever, SEO, things like that, those activities, the return on those is so low that switching to a partnership-based model, we'll call it, or however you want to, referral marketing sort of model, it's less of a dip than I might indicate, right? It might be, it's going to happen quickly, and it doesn't take much to outdo the hours and hours of cold calling by doing this.
Yeah, and look, I'm not even. I guess I'm not even saying scrap that, do this. I'm saying whilst you're doing that,
Yeah.
if you're not getting the results that are adequate for the growth of your business, then what are you going to do? Because to your point, yeah, you can spend more time and more money trying to amp up your output, but you still got a very, very low conversion rate and it's risky, right? Or you can go, okay, well, we're doing that, but we're not happy with that. Don't just scrap it,
Right.
optimize it. But while you're doing that, you're having all these conversations anyway. You've got all these existing clients and you've got all these touch points. Are you weaving into that activity that you're already doing anyway, this referral partner thinking, mindset, strategy, tactics, process? And it's a lot simpler and easier than people think. But, and here's the big but, most people won't take the time to slow down from what they're doing that's not working. They're just doubling down on more effort instead
Exactly.
of slowing down and being a little bit more strategic and thoughtful and doing the toughest thing in the world,
Yeah.
doing a little bit of strategic thinking and going, okay, well, I'm doing that. I'm frustrated with it. Do I double down on it or do I bring other strategies in that are no cost and highly leveraged? And it's this no cost, highly leveraged thing that people are running past, not doing, not thinking about, not implementing. And it's the biggest missed opportunity cost in business.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
So
mean, they have the clients. So if you're
yeah,
cold calling and one out of 1,000 calls really turns into a client, just throwing numbers out there, that one client is something you can mine for other clients.
yeah. And your existing best clients are already surrounded by your next best referral partner. They are your clients already have a deep relationship with your best referral partner. Your challenge as a small business owner is to go and have a simple conversation with your client that actually leads to the introduction. And when you actually speak to the referral partner, you've simply got to have a value proposition that is important to them, that ticks a box with one of their core business drivers, not just commission, not I'll refer leads to you if you refer leads to me. You should be doing that, but that shouldn't be a pillar of your partner program or model. If you've got a value proposition that really helps them drive core business value for the partner, now your client refers you to one of their suppliers, advisors, someone in their trusted community that already has a relationship with lots of customers that look exactly like your best client. Now you've got this one-to-many relationship, and there's no cost to the leads other than a couple of conversations and a bit of your time.
No,
So
I like that because I'm not going to my client and saying, and I see financial advisors doing this all the time, give me five other people could be my clients, which can be very threatening. What you're saying is, I would really like to meet your accountant. I would love to meet your accountant, because I have other people that they might be able to serve, and selfishly, they probably have people I might want to serve.
yeah, well, we even sort of take a slightly different approach to it. So we speak to clients, speak to clients, or tell our network or coach our network to speak to clients around bringing them into your own private referral partner network. So you're effectively doing the Frank Agin model of creating community, creating your own private partner community, and basically thinking about your clients as potential people that you can refer business to when you're out networking. So when I go out networking, I'm not necessarily networking for myself, I'm networking for my partner community, because I will meet lots of people at networking events who are not my ideal client, they're not my
Yeah.
ideal referral partner, but they are really good people who might be offering huge value. Then there's value for me to be able to introduce them to my clients. There's value to me, as you know, to be able to introduce them to other partners that they may be able to work with, even though they're not an ideal customer or an ideal referral partner for me. So when you start to have those types of conversations with your client, if we role play here a little bit, Frank, if I come to you and say, "Hey, Frank, um, our business is really focused moving forward on building a private partner network of collaborators. And so while I'm out networking, my team are out networking, we're going to be looking for potential referrals for our customers. Can't guarantee I'm going to give you heaps, but that's what we're going to be doing. What's an ideal client for you? What's an ideal referral partner?" Just having that simple conversation let them talk. One, it just gives you more clarity around their business, builds relationship, but be genuine about it. As soon as they've said their piece, the law of reciprocity. They're typically 9 times out of 10, they're going, "Who's a good referral for you?" "Oh, look, I'm not necessarily chasing leads." To your point, people don't want to put other people they know into the top of the sales process. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, "Oh, yeah, well, look, I'm looking for connections into accountants because what I do for the accountants is I add this value as opposed to lead swapping or whatever. What's this core business value that I add to accountants?" And he goes, "Oh, you should meet my accountant," as an example, right?
Yeah.
And then you're having a conversation with an accountant that can lead you to lots of clients.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If someone's listening to this and does nothing else, what's the one question they should start asking in every conversation to unlock more referrals?
Who's a good referral partner for you?
Okay.
Most people won't be able to answer that question. Most people, even if you ask who's an ideal customer for you and who's an ideal referral partner, you probably won't get a decent answer to either. As you know, most people will talk about anybody who's looking for a plumber.
Right.
Okay, right. Yeah. But most businesses, particularly small to medium-sized businesses, don't focus on referral partnerships as a strategy. So they'll probably struggle to answer that. But that's what you're looking to elicit. You're looking for them to think about that. And then that then gives you the ability to segue into, with building a private referral partner network. I'll invite you to that network. And I'll be looking out for leads for you as I'm networking if I can make those introductions.
Yeah.
Just that talk track alone, as simple as that is, leads to that person asking you, "Who's a good referral for you? Who's a good referral partner for you?" Always focus on the referral partner. You'll get introductions into networks and communities that way.
Well, you had said something early in the conversation about thinking. Now, I always say thinking is the hardest part, right? And as you're talking, I'm thinking about that whole notion of thinking, and that a lot of what we can be contributing to our referral partners is just taking the time to think about them. Try and if I were Derek Morgan, who would I be looking for? I think this might be a good introduction, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but at least making the effort, and they can tell you, "No, that's off base because regulations say we can't work with those people," or whatever it is.
But there's value in that as well, right?
Yes.
Because it's a referral that is not a good referral is either a coaching opportunity, an alignment conversation opportunity, or a filtering process, right? Because not everybody is a good referral partner for everybody. And if somebody doesn't have the network of people who are good referrals and good clients for you, then it's not in their best interest to be sending them to you. It's not in your best interest and time to actually be receiving them. So it allows you to have an alignment conversation and go, "Thanks for the referral. However, there wasn't a match because of this." And then that allows you to identify, can they refer the right people? And if they can't, then maybe they shouldn't be referring people to you anyway. So you can then go, "Okay, there's not a great partner alignment there, or there is a great partner alignment. We just need to refine the positioning a little bit." So having a partner mindset allows you to have those deep conversations, which ultimately leads to more leads and better quality leads and better partner network.
I keep going back to the old saying at Christmas time, it's the thought that counts, right? And it may not be the perfect gift, but it's the thought, right? And here it's the thought that counts. This person's thinking about me.
Yeah. Look, exactly. And when you can have those deep adult conversations within your partner network, then all of a sudden you get introduced to more aligned partners that have more of your ideal customers. So again, it's like any system or process. The more you systemize things in your partner thinking and your partner conversation, the more you build simple frameworks that your team can follow and simple talk tracks that your team can follow, then it becomes a habit. It becomes consistent, and it's that consistency that gets results in anything sales related, right? You can have a mediocre sales process, but if you're doing it consistently, eventually it gets refined so that it converts better, and then eventually then it's converting better, you're doing more of it, and everyone's excited and everyone sort of wins. But if you don't have that system and consistent framework foundation, then you don't know what you're testing and measuring. You don't know what to tweak.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, this has been very insightful. Best way for people to get a hold of you? Don't want to talk more on this for their business?
Yeah, referral marketing ideas.com. If you do a search for referral marketing ideas on LinkedIn, you will find me as well. And if you're looking for a complementary version of the underlying technology that we use to help run partnerships and manage partner ecosystems, then you can go to refer2.com. And yeah, would love to give you community complimentary access to refer you to.
All right. Appreciate your time today.
Likewise, Frank. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate Derek. Let's go back to that image we started with, the vending machine, right? Because here's the truth. A vending machine is transactional. You put something in, you expect something out. And if nothing drops, you walk away frustrated. But relationships don't work that way. They never have. Your network isn't a machine. It's like a garden. You don't show up and drop a coin in and expect a harvest or expect a donut or a candy bar. With a harvest, you plant, you water, you connect people, you create value. And over time, that's the key. That's when things grow. And here's the shift Derek has been talking about all along. The people who win in business aren't the ones pressing the buttons harder. They're the ones building bridges. They're not asking who can give me something. They're asking who can I connect and how can we all win? So as you leave today, remember this and just this. Stop treating your network like a vending machine. Start treating it like an ecosystem. Because when you do, the referrals don't just happen, they compound.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connections. All rights reserved.